Greetings everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Powerful Plant Allies. Now this one's a very quick one today, and we're well into the first week of summer. The milkweed flowers are blooming as we smell them here walking through the flower fields, but that's actually not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about is a plant that we spoke a couple of videos back. We're backtracking a little bit, and that is Verbascum thapsus, also commonly known as mullein. Now, we spoke about the medicinal benefits of the leaves and the flowers last time. However, the flowers are actually blooming right now, so I'm going to give you guys a much closer look at the flowers, as well as how to make your own mullein ear oil, or mullein flower oil infusion. Kind of like a do-it-yourself type guide, alrighty? So without further ado, let's go see the second year mullein, and let's go take a look at those flowers. So the mullein leaves and the flowers have very similar constituents in them. However, the flowers tend to be much more potent. And it actually makes sense because right now we're standing next to a patch of second year mullein. You can see it's much taller than I am. And the second year plant is putting all of its chi, its life force energy, into this flower stalk and creating these beautiful flowers. So all of the active constituents are getting sent right up to the flowers, getting sucked out of the leaves, which is why the leaves are much less potent during its second year. And all the good stuff is in the flowers during the second year. So for today, this video, what you're going to need is a mason jar and some olive oil. Necessarily you don't need olive oil. I just prefer to use olive oil for an oil infusion. However, if you have another oil that you like to work with, that is totally fine. We are sitting next to this second year patch right here that has given us permission to harvest from them. So first thing we're going to do is I have this jar of organic lavender, and we're going to offer this up to the plants as a form of exchange. Like I have said in many of my past videos, energy exchange is very important when you're harvesting from plants, okay? So once we lay down the herbs, we're going to harvest the flowers, and we're going to fill them up in this mason jar right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the olive oil and we're going to create an oil infusion out of it, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to collect some of the flowers, put them in the jar, and we'll see what happens next. So right now, what we're doing is we're picking the flowers off of the flower stalk here, and you don't necessarily even really need to do this. I've heard of some people, when the whole flower stalk is in bloom, just literally taking a knife and just cutting the entire flower stalk off and putting that in a jar. You get a more well-rounded medicine that way. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to mix a little bit of both in it. We're going to get the individual flowers, and then for some of the other plants, we're going to actually harvest the entire stalk of it, really getting the full benefit of the experience. So now that we've got all of our medicine collected in the jar, what I'm going to do now is I just happen to have brought some lavender. Like I said, I was laying this down for the plants as a form of exchange. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take a couple handfuls of this organic lavender and sprinkle it into the jar because the medicines are just going to complement each other. Now the reason we're putting lavender in with the mullein is because synergistically they work very well together. Both are very antimicrobial, and the more that you start learning about herbs and herbal medicine, the more you're going to start creating your own little formulas and stuff like that. It's almost like a telepathic communication with the medicine, intuitively knowing that two herbs are going to work well together because of very similar properties energetically and physically. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my oil of choice. I chose olive oil because of its antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving qualities, longevity, and it also prevents heart disease. And I just love how it tastes. Olive oil is awesome. But like I said earlier, you can use whatever oil that you are called to, as long as it's healthy, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to take the olive oil, pour it into the mason jar, until the oil is just about covering all of the herbs. You don't want any of the herb touching the air because that is how it can go rancid, right? So now that the jar is filled up with the oil and the herbs, what you're going to do is you're going to take this jar and put it in a sunny window for 4 to 7 days. Now the sun is going to act as a heat extraction method to extract the medicinal constituents out of the herbs. However, you don't necessarily need to put it in the sun. What you can also do is take this jar, put it in a dark cabinet for maybe 2 to 3 months, and slowly that will also extract the constituents. But if you're looking for a very fast product or outcome, put it in a sunny window and the sun will do it for you. It's really amazing. Once the infusion is done, what you're going to do is you're going to take a strainer, strain all of the plant parts out of it. You don't even want little specks in there. You want to get as much as you can out of it because that can actually turn the oil rancid, all right? Once you have the oil strained out and all the plant parts out of it, you're going to take that oil, put it in a dropper bottle, After that, what you can do is you could put it in some salves, some oil bombs and stuff like that. Use it topically, or you can ingest it. The oil has been used topically for earaches, eczema, and other skin conditions. You can use the oil for earaches by directly placing the oil inside of your ear. The oil is also a very powerful analgesic. It soothes inflammation and pain. Mullein flower oil can be used to help gum and mouth ulcers. It's also a very powerful remedy for gingivitis. The oil can be applied topically on bug bites to stop itching. This is also a popular remedy to stop the spread of poison ivy. And now for the cautions. The topical application of the oil may cause allergic reactions in some. If you sense that you're having an allergic reaction to the plant, stop its use immediately. The oil should only be placed on an infected eardrum, not an eardrum that has burst. And there you have it. Now you know how to make your own mullein flower oil infusion. Now, the method that we use today is considered the folk method. It's really just throwing a bunch of herbs into a bottle and just pouring menstruum over it. You can get very scientific with it. You can get into measurements and stuff like that, which I highly encourage you guys to get into. However, if you're looking to just make some medicine really quickly, the folk method is a very ancient method. It really is just us using our intuition with it and just throwing in the medicinal plants and stuff like that, seeing how much you feel really needs to be in the medicine. So that's the folk method. I use that more when I give tours and stuff like that and teach people about it, but measurement is very important as well. So I do encourage you to learn that and to get on top of that, okay? That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found some good information in here. I hope it inspires you to go out and get to know mullein and to make some medicine out of her. Just do so respectfully always. Make sure that you always ask permission of the plant. If you sit with her long enough, she will tell you about her benefits, tell you about her uses, and hopefully even give you some permission. If not, continue the search and you will find a patch that will give you permission. Offer something up to the plant and give it love, because plants love love. Everybody loves love. Share the love. Comment if there's anything in specific that I didn't cover about its uses, the oil infusion's uses. If there's anything that you use it for that I didn't cover, please mention it below. I would love to hear about it. We'll see you guys in the next adventure. Stay safe. I love you guys. Namaste. And peace to you.